here, and then we have 3 vacant seats. I'm gonna have Lester lead us in our flag salute, if that's okay.
Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we're gonna offer a public comment period. You can speak to us about any issue you want. You have up to 3 minutes to do it. We are prohibited by the Brown Act of discussing any issue that you bring to us, but we may ask clarifying questions if anyone has a public comment.
I'll give an update on what's happening with the Red Cross.
We'll do updates next. We'll put you in the community.
Oh, okay. If you want to do that.
Yeah, go Bill.
Oh, yeah, okay, my concern is for the 20th Street and Sierra Highway to have, fog lines painted in, so you can see the edge of the road at nighttime. Because with all these new modern headlights, it's so bright, you can't see, and then when you go to turn, you're liable to run right off the road because you can't see where the road stops and the dirt picks up. That was this one issue. The second issue is the visual obstruction over at Orange and Sierra Highway at the tire store.
Yes, definitely.
They for some reason, you can't see the view looking.
Their sign is
Their sign is way out,
front.
and then they got parked vehicles on the curb.
Big trucks, yeah.
On Orange Street. So those were the 2 things that I would like to bring up.
Perfect. Thank you. Marshall?
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you guys after the break. I've been very busy during December. I've had a couple of resource events. I'm sorry, Marshall Coleman of Boys of Optimistic Manhood nonprofit for boys and girls growing up in a home without a father figure. I was able to get out for the resource event and talk to some of the community. I asked them what are some things they would like to see more of for the youth in our community. Most of our community said they've lost faith in our chamber. That was one of the main things they brought up. They said there is nothing for the youth to do. I'm currently looking at a building over on Diamond Street right now, up at the front there. My goal is to get that building. That way I can have certain things there for our youth and the seniors as well. Bingo nights for our seniors, peer circles for our youth. We have to do something. We have to do something for our youth. I see all the time in the Iron Rosemont group, our youth being in trouble. We're complaining about our youth. Okay, well, what are we going to give them then? What do we have for them to do? So it has to be a community effort. I've been seeing a lot of stuff that seems cliquish. We got to get out of that if we're going to save our youth and get something for our youth. We got to get out of cliques. Certain things that we need for our youth, whatever that's out and what's going on, our community is not hearing about it. So whether that means visiting neighborhoods, getting the flyers out there, we have to do something for them. We cannot continue complaining about our youth, but do nothing for them. So I'll be putting together fundraisers so we can have something for them. I'll be bringing people out for different events, dance classes, so on and so forth. But we need to do more for our youth. We gotta stop complaining about it. We have to put some action into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have a link that you can post on ERO?
Yes, I can.
Okay, because if you do that, and that may help.
Okay.
Because I go on ERO.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
Okay.
And so a lot of the posters on there are actually looking for things for their children to do.
I will.
But there's nothing for them to find. They're just going by word of mouth.
Got it.
And doing this, that, and the other. So if you can at least put that, and there's multiple ERO groups.
Trust me, I'm in all of them. I'm in as many as
Yeah.
possible, but I will. But I am going to be out in the community as well. For those that may not be on Facebook or on the internet, I will actually be out passing out flyers, school letting out, getting the flyers to some of our kids as well. I will be doing that. Foot on the ground, I'll definitely be doing that.
Crossing guards.
Got you. Got it. Okay.
Sorry.
So I am going around, actually, I had 2 weeks off for Christmas, ended up with pneumonia for 2.5 weeks of it, had to go back to work, but I'm having a problem getting signatures. I need help. people don't want to open their doors to strangers. Don't blame them. The hours after I work a full-time job is dark. I don't like it. Already been bit once this time. So we can do a schedule of the post office, Albertsons, any place like that. 2-3 hours would really help, because people are expecting you to come to their door, and I don't feel really great about that.
Yeah.
Especially being out by myself at night. So if we can get some help.
Yeah, this is the petitions in regards to removing, Public Works is attempting to place, service fees on our property tax bills. And that's what she's talking about. And so it's a petition, but it's a petition that can only be signed by property owners only.
Or the trustees.
Yeah, and so, that's an issue that I'm gonna be talking to, the supervisor about. That's me.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
We're gonna try to get in here as quickly as we can as well, so.
Yeah, no.
Any other public comment? Okay, I tried twice.
I-
So we're gonna move on to community leaders. I'm gonna have Lester go with the American Red Cross.
Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody again.
Hi, sir.
Hi. Well, as you know, your American Red Cross has been very busy in the last couple of weeks here. We have the fire activity that's been occurring down in Los Angeles County. We mobilized immediately upon notification to establish shelters. The max, we had 8 shelters open. At this time, currently, we have 7 evacuation shelters open. We are currently housing a little over 600 people. We were at a max of 1,000 people. We have approximately 550 boots on the ground, both staff and volunteers, that are staffing the shelters, as well as other support functions. We're moving from the suppression element of the event to recovery. For the Red Cross, it's always recovery. The shelter mass care is part of that. Now we're moving into supporting the disaster assistance centers and the local assistance centers. The Red Cross will be there opening casework on fire victims. We look to provide them support, emotional support, health and medical support as necessary, as well as spiritual support, and in some cases, if we're able to, and they qualify, financial support, which is there. So we'll be up with other county, city, and other nonprofits. We are working with a lot of our partners in supporting the shelters, Salvation Army, kitchens, and the like. So, you know, we will be there up until the time, you know, we're able to get our folks situated through shelter resident transition and into some sort of living arrangement. The difficulty that's been that's come up is the fact that you know, in many cases there are just the sheer number of residences that have been destroyed is astronomical. We're talking into the thousands upon thousands, and there are not any replacement residences in LA County. That's one of the things that LA County's been dealing with. So that's an area that we're going to be communicating with leaders and the like to determine how we can facilitate shelter resident transition for a lot of these people and like. But this is going to be a monumental challenge, not only for the county itself, but for the state in relation to taking care of these folks. From the Red Cross's position, we're going to be there for these folks and continue taking care of them. I've put on your sheets, and if you could take them with you, whether or not you or anybody else, but we're always looking for volunteers. And I'm the government operations liaison here in Kern Eastern Sierra chapter. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is get volunteers in each of the individual communities we have. One, because we have a lot of activities that we do on a daily basis. I've been in Mojave about 3 separate times as the disaster action team supervisor, providing services, Red Cross services, to your residents that have become housed as a result of fire. I was out here just the other day. We had an individual that became unhoused, and we were able to bring them into the system as well, provide a bit of financial support. And in a lot of these cases, this comes in real handy, and we're happy to do that. And this is support that is offered by donations from many, many people throughout the United States. So we always say, and I always say, donate to the Red Cross. And it's important because these support not only our steady state disaster preparedness programs that we have, but particularly our disaster state activities dealing particularly in mass care and sheltering. So anybody got any questions about what's been happening and what we're doing and the like? Yes.
I saw on the internet on Facebook that people wanted to donate clothes, but it's becoming very hard for the volunteers to sort through, is that?
Well, here's the thing about donations. We have two types of donations we recognize in the Red Cross. We have in-kind and we have unsolicited donations. And just because it's called unsolicited donations, that's just the title. It's not a nasty phrase. But in-kind donations would be large single item type or single type. So cases of water or pallets of water, cases of ramen noodles, things of that nature. We're able to bring those in, we're able to warehouse those and then get those out. Unsolicited donations are those donations provided by loving, caring people. That's the way I say it. I'm going to call it. These people are loving and caring, and oftentimes what motivates them is a bit of helplessness. They see the disaster, they want to do something, and our first nature is, they need something. So we want to provide clothing, we want to provide those things that are there. Oftentimes there is no initial list, and a lot of the lists that you've seen have kind of been handed down, and we repeat the same thing. Initially there were no donation locations. Now a lot have popped up, but as you've mentioned, there are so many caring people throughout Los Angeles County and other areas that, needless to say, the amounts of these unsolicited donations are just tremendous. And no sooner than a center opens up, it has to close. Managing unsolicited donations is actually a mass care responsibility of the Red Cross, but it's not one that we embrace initially, because our initial responsibility is getting a shelter up, getting people in, getting them situated, taking care of their fur babies, and then we'll look at those. And we are pretty well self-sufficient. We have a very robust logistics section that handles what we need in order to take care of our shelter residents. Now that being said, I've had an opportunity to speak to some church leaders and other people down in Altadena. As a matter of fact, I used to work in Altadena. I was a firefighter there in the fire station there, and was at the Altadena fire in 1993 when a large brush fire just as this burned through Altadena and caused a great deal of damage. But it seems that, again, housing is one of the considerations, and another that they're shifting to is donation, either through charity, recognized, or money cards, which churches can distribute out to people. Because the problem that I see particularly is we're talking about humanity here. People have gone through disaster, and going through disaster is traumatic. And I think we have to consider the fact that expecting someone who's gone through that trauma to all of a sudden walk into a big room like this and then start rifling through a pile of clothes that's not there. We have to look at dignity. We have to respect people's dignity. So in that, I think it's important, and when we look at how we can best help, I'm going to say donate. Find a charity, donate. This money is going to get to these people. And if they receive a money card, they can make the decision what they need best suits them. I would hate to see all of these donations go up, be in a parking lot, and then things start to settle down, but nobody's gotten it, and then it all ends up in a dumpster.
Yeah.
A money card, that's not going to happen. A donation to a recognized charity, that's not going to happen. And you'll know your money is going someplace wisely. So that's an idea there, and that's something that you consider. That's coming from me. But I also know that the LA County Fire Department just came out and pretty much said the same thing. Find a charity, donate to that charity, or if you know a church that has a lot of parishioners, there are quite a few in Altadena, and you can send a money card or get some sort of money card or some kind of card that they can use. And it doesn't have, it can be Walmart, it can be Target, it can, you know, be Subway, it can be whatever. But these are things that people can use. So, any more questions? Yes, sir.
Just curious of the money you take in, what percentage actually gets out to the public?
For the Red Cross, 90% goes to our disaster services, disaster and steady state services.
Perfect.
Okay? All right.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna have the Highway Patrol go. Commander Don.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for sharing that information. It is devastating, and I can say I worked in Altadena too. That's where I started my career, and to see the photos and the videos of all the houses and the people in distress, it's going to take some time. To let you know, as a department, as the California Highway Patrol, from Avenue A, south of there, the Antelope Valley area, and just south and up to South LA, basically, that's all Southern Division. So just to give you an idea, we have 8 divisions statewide. That's one of them, Southern Division. They've been on tactical alert, which basically means their days off have been canceled since this has been going on. So they've been working tirelessly to supporting, you know, with everything they could do. I can tell you, I was telling a gentleman back there, even the Altadena office, they were evacuated as this was happening. So, you know, bear with it, and whatever you guys can do to help out, we rally together and do it. The gentleman back there talking about the youth, I appreciate that. That's great information, and I love to talk to you about that too. We do have an Explorer program from the ages of 15 to 21. That's a great benefit, and I can tell you we have one officer, he's working up north, that was one of our Explorers, graduated from Roseman High School, and he has a career with the Highway Patrol. So the opportunities are there. It's part of guiding the youth and getting them and letting them know about it. I know the Sheriff's Department probably has their Explorer program too. A lot of agencies do. Yeah, so the opportunities are there. I think it's just mentoring the youth and getting them there. I'll share with you some of our stats for the year since we're starting 2025 here. So this is for 2024. Just to give you some numbers. All in all, total collisions that my area handled, and this is all of East Kern, we handled 909 traffic collisions, quite a bit. Fatalities, we had 18, which was a drop. The previous 2 years, we were at 25 both years. So almost a 30% drop, which is, it's great to see those numbers come down. Total arrests, we had 463. DUI arrests, 311, so pretty high. The previous year, we were just above that too. So that's a lot of DUI arrests. Let's see, give you a couple other numbers. Total citations that were issued was just over 11,000. For speed itself, just for speed, just under 8,000. So again, this is all of East Kern. Total enforcement contacts, so this could be anything, citation, a verbal warning, just over 16,000, and that's for all of 2024. So just thought I'd share that with you guys so you know what we're doing as a department.
For the 463 arrests, do you have the numbers as far as anything that's youth, like maybe 25 and under, as far as the arrests are concerned? Is that just general?
Right, no, I don't have that broken down.
Okay, thank you.
No, I appreciate that. Yes.
2025, what are the stats as of January 1st, 2025?
Stats of that.
Uh-huh.
I don't have the numbers yet.
Okay.
Usually we have them at the end of the month. But I can tell you, unfortunately, we did have one fatal collision there at the beginning of the year. It was a head-on wrong-way driver on State Route 58. Very tragic, but
Was it over here?
on 58
By the
near
Hollies?
Moron. No, you're talking by the 14.
Oh, okay.
We did have a big rig collision there. Almost went wrong way.
Oh, man.
That was a DUI collision. So
Second question, I know that on Highway 58 going toward Tehachapi and Bakersfield,
sure,
there are the weigh stations
correct.
on each side, and a lot of times they are not open.
Right.
Does the California Highway Patrol have any plans and reopening them. My husband's a truck driver.
Sure.
So, and his complaints to me every single day about truckers, you know, and the way that they do that. And he loves pulling into a way station
Yeah.
because he's
It's legal.
yes, he is. But is there, you know, that may stop some of these illegal semi drivers, or, you know, to check for their tires, because a lot of times they don't do their pre-trips and tires blow.
Right.
And all that stuff, and so we have all that on, and that creates hazards for us,
Absolutely.
the passengers.
Sure. So commercial program is pretty involved with the highway patrol. There's only a number of scales statewide that are open 24 hours, such as Grapevine. If you travel on I-5 and you see Grapevine, that's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's rarely closed. Other scales, they're not 24 hours, which is Cache Creek. You have the one going westbound, which is a bigger scale, and then the small one by Keene coming eastbound. It's all on staffing, how much staffing they have, but I can tell you that's not a 24-hour scale. They do conduct operations at different times, targeting those that we know are not stopping or taking the back roads to avoid going through the scales.
Okay.
And if you guys do know of companies that are doing that, you could always report it to us.
They're independents mainly.
Yeah, but we can still look into that.
Even
That's-
anonymously, right?
Yeah, we could look into it. You can provide our office with the
video on-
information.
No, but I mean, if
Got
somebody
this one
was
semi.
to call and say, hey, this company, you don't have to give a name or.
Sure,
or anything
absolutely.
like
You're
that.
not required to, but we'll take the information and,
Cab
follow
number
through.
and, yeah, cause
Yeah, you're gonna
it's-
have to give us some
the
information.
cab number, cause the trailers will always change.
Yeah.
But it's, so you always wanna focus on the cab, see if you can get a cab number.
So we have a CA or DLT. If it's gonna be a owner-operator here locally, it should be a CA number. We could look them up that way too. But whatever information you could give us, we could look into that.
Okay.
Good questions.
We also have an issue with the school bus that stops there on United, with the red sign out, and people aren't
Traffic
stopping.
going around it.
Yeah, and kids are out there by themselves running
United
around.
and what? What's the cross?
It's the park, it's right there by the, it would be on the west side of United at the park opening.
Okay.
Is there a crossing guard there?
No,
Maybe we should put one
but
there.
people are just letting their kids go in the morning and, they're not.
We can
cars
work
aren't
that as
stopped.
a traffic complaint, so.
Yeah,
we'll look
well, I
at it.
work for a school district and transportation, so,
Sure. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be dangerous, so.
Yeah.
absolutely.
yeah, they're not stopping, yeah.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What did you say about the divisions again?
So,
Is it a southern division from Avenue A south?
yes, correct. So the
And
animal,
then the division you work in?
Yeah,
is
so-
north from?
so the department's broken down into 8 divisions statewide. Mojave is actually part of Inland Division, so like my boss is there in Riverside. Bakersfield to the west, Fort Tejon and going up north, that's Central Division. So that's a separate division. So you have Central over here, Inland, and then Southern. And we report to the chief basically out of those divisions. And that's how they control the special response
So
teams.
is the chief for each district, or one chief for all of them?
So there's one chief for each division, and then 2 assistant, typically 2 or 3 assistant chiefs under that.
With technology, if we were to talk to the school district and put cameras on their stop signs, you can read, I mean, they're pretty.
tried.
Would you be able to do enforcement action if you were able to see license plate and see a violation like
We
that?
couldn't, not off of that, no.
A crossing guard, a crossing guard can write down plate number with a grease pen on the back of their stop sign, because if they run that, that's considered running a light, and so a crossing guard can actually file a complaint for that vehicle. Is that true or not true?
We haven't done that. I mean, they can give us the information. So if we get anonymous tips or information, obviously we try the enforcement. We try to get out there, send officers out there, work the traffic complaint. But we could also send letters to whatever information you give us. If you give us a plate and it's reoccurring, this car keeps driving through and we just haven't seen it, there's nothing wrong with us sending them a letter saying, hey, your car car's been spotted at this location, you could be liable. You know, it's not gonna be a citation, but hopefully at least it gets their attention that people are paying attention and reporting them. So that's another avenue we have. And we send plenty of those out too. Anybody else? You're welcome, thank you.
Kern County Sheriff's.
Hi, good evening. I'm Senior Deputy Giorgio with Kern County Sheriff's Office. I apologize for being late and also apologize. I don't have all of our statistics for whatever reason they weren't able to print them off. I do have some at least arrest numbers that we did within from December 19th to January 15th. For both Moat or Mojave and Roseman, we had a total of 16 arrests for various things. We do have a couple I see here that were weapon related charges. We did have a attempt homicide that was on a little bit further to the west, which that suspect was taken in custody that night. We are still showing that Roseman and Mojave are still our two busier areas out of the four: Roseman, Mojave, Boron, and Tehachapi. But that's pretty much all I have right now.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I've been seeing you guys around a lot more.
We've been trying to. We know that Roseman and Mojave are two higher priority areas related to calls. A lot of the LA County people are coming up this way and committing crimes, and a lot of our people are going down to LA County and then coming back up this way. So we have been focusing a lot of our attention on these areas since we do have that the precedence of the activity down here, and we're trying to be a little bit more out there and known in the community right now.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Is there been any uptick like in people just firing shots up in the air?
Firing shots up in the air?
Well, I guess if you hear, but like, I live on Desert Street.
Okay.
A couple blocks over here.
Yes.
And it seems like Christmas Eve, and New Year's Eve, and then random nights in between. It sounds like somebody's shooting a gun. It just boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
And I don't see any, like fireworks coming up. So I don't know if it's just loud fireworks or whether it's actually somebody with it's just firing.
It could be both. We do have a huge problem with aerial fireworks out here. We have had numerous calls that were reported as shots heard. However, during the investigation, they have come up to be aerial fireworks. I did take a report, I want to say about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, that we did have a reports of shots heard in the area of Desert and Elm, in between Elm and Orange and Alleyway. And we did locate about 6 shell cases. So those are being processed right now, and hopefully we'll be able to identify off those shell cases.
The other question I have is, what's your opinion of the people that you find and arrest that they have justice administered to?
Ooh, I can't give a definite answer for that one.
Just in my opinion, they don't care anymore. They just let them, they take them in, book them, and turn them loose.
I will agree on that. We have seen a lot more with AB 109 and the different Senate bills that are out there. We have seen a lot more people that would typically be held a little bit longer, or at least held for the 48 hours to make their first court appearance, that have been released sooner than what we expected. It is frustrating to us as well because most of the time these people are getting out before we even have our paperwork done. So we're trying to, hopefully it will be fixed one day. They are, I would say that they are holding people for a little bit longer, especially if they have a recurring issue or arrest with the charges that we're giving them. They are seeming to hold them a little bit longer. And then obviously if it's a more serious crime with assault with a deadly weapon or anything of violence, they are holding them a little bit longer.
And do you know, once they turn them loose, are they just gone? Are they showing up for that court case?
Both. I would say that a good majority do show up for their court cases later on, and a good majority don't show up, and either they're still around in the area or they're located somewhere else and they're rearrested on warrants after that. Yes, ma'am.
I live over, on where the high school is.
Okay.
Back there, and back in that area, they do a lot of shooting.
Yes.
So there's kind of like a gun range or whatever.
Yeah, Rattlesnake Canyon.
Yeah, so they're just shooting off. Is there, you hear rapid fire late at night. I mean, it's like 9, 10 o'clock at night coming from that area. Is there, an ordinance or a county ordinance or something for when people, can or cannot shoot their firearms, back there?
So technically, a lot of that area is private property.
Okay.
However, I was tasked with that job a couple years ago. A lot of the people that own that property live either out of state or sometimes they're out of country. So in order to get a hold of them to be a victim of people trespassing on their land, it is very difficult for us. We do hear the shooting at nighttime. We are aware of it. However, with the limited amount of deputies that we usually have at nighttime, it is more or less unsafe for us to approach subjects with a bunch of guns that can see us coming from miles away.
Okay, but is there a noise?
Yeah, it would be the same as like loud music or anything like that. There's no time frame on it.
There's no time frame?
No. There's a misconception of people thinking that there's a time frame on like loud
that's
music.
what I was asking.
Yes. There is no real time frame. It's anything that disturbs the peace of another. But with loud music, there are county ordinances. I believe it's like 150 feet from their residence.
I know that with fireworks, you can keep them off the
Well, with fireworks, anything aerial fireworks, those are illegal.
Yeah.
The only ones that are allowed are the safe and sane ones that usually you get the week before the July and it ends on the 4th.
You guys
But
are getting
yes.
order.
Yes.
How about a status on the sheriff's station for those?
I don't have one for you.
Okay.
I'll give you an update on that. Do you ask about the sheriff's station?
Yeah.
I'll give an update on
The
that.
new one.
Afterwards, in our comment period.
Okay. Yes.
I did. I live in Tradewood, mobile home park, off
Okay.
20th Street, and past like 3 nights, at like 11:30, I've been hearing so much gunshots. I know the difference between gunshots and fireworks, and it's like bam, 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 bam. It's two different kind of guns.
Okay.
So you can tell one's a 44, one's a 38. I'm not sure, but you can tell the difference between the sounds of them. And it's like, are they having a shootout? I don't know, but what's going on over there? I don't know.
And this is near Tradewinds?
Yeah, it's south of Tradewinds.
Okay.
But it sounds like it's like almost to the on the 14, but it's someplace behind the other side of Tradewinds.
Okay, do you have a time frame?
11:30 at night.
What, I'm sorry?
11:30 at night.
Like every night at 11:30?
Past 3 nights.
Really?
Yeah, it's going on between 11:30, 11:45.
Okay.
Can't get him up. Like, listen, you need to hear this too.
Well, if we're available tonight, we'll get units out in the area to listen to that for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I meant to ask Highway Patrol as well. Have you guys, Diamond Street, have you guys seen something going up as far as over there or down, whatever the case is, as far as in disturbances? I know we have quite a bit of walkers over there, so has that been up or down over on Diamond Street?
For like specific instances?
Theft, anything to do with altercations, anything over there, has it kind of gone up or down over in Diamond Street?
In my experience, the days that I work, it seems to have gone down. For us, especially on the more southern end, is usually kind of where we have the peace disturbances and the loud music and all, and that seems to have kind of gone away for a little bit.
Good, okay.
Last question. Do you have a youth program? Because he was, the gentleman in the back that just asked, he's wanting to get, the youth, to focus on our youth here. Do you have a youth program for individuals?
We do have,
Here in
not
this area?
here in Roseman.
There is ROP at the junior high, I know that.
Yes.
My grandson's in it.
Correct, yeah.
Cadets.
Yeah, nothing specific for the sheriff's office. A lot of that stuff is in the Bakersfield areas. We also do have SAL programs. I can't off the top of my head. Sheriff's activity leagues. We do have those throughout the department, but we don't have anything out here.
Do you guys do donations? Do you guys know if you guys do donate, or if you guys actively donate, or involved
put something together, could I go to you guys as far as donations or to get a couple of shares out, to participate?
For like a community event?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, just go to the Mojave office and speak with whatever sergeant's on at the time, and you can run it by him.
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Let's move on to the next person, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Do we have anyone from the Chamber of Commerce? My wife isn't here, I should know that. Well, let's see, Community Service District, or CSD.
Oh, okay. Hey, folks, good evening. Rick Webb. As far as the district goes, we're kind of good. There's nothing going on. We got some new committees and new board members, so that's going to be coming up, but we'll start ramping up. Well, I want to share with everyone, this goes back to what the Red Cross was talking about. The best thing we can do to help is to have the souls ready to be helped. I've been down there, and I'm looking at the history when I was in law enforcement. I've been through the riots, I've been through the earthquakes. I've been down there looking and trying to help down there. Folks, $250 billion, I don't even know where this money coming from. So what I would ask us to all start thinking about in our community is if you have seniors, someone with a disability, check down on them. And my friend, I told the lieutenant here, everyone's gonna know somebody that got impacted. A man that helped me lay a gym floor at my community center down there, the lady that helped us lay floors, her home burned up. We can't do nothing to help her because they can't get in there. So I would ask everyone to start thinking about preparing yourselves, number one. Number two, from a disaster standpoint, I've never, seen nothing like this. I've been through the riots twice, the earthquakes, the big earthquake.
Right.
This makes all those look remedial, because remember, the riots were only buildings and businesses.
Right.
The earthquake, these are whole two separate communities and pockets. So I'd ask everyone, I've been working at the district, not part of the district, but to start a CERT program. You know, that's what we, the community, help ourselves when the fire department and the police department, the sheriffs are doing other things. It is probably even more so important now, but I would ask everyone from a community standpoint that if the sheriffs are busy, CHP's tied up, fire department's activated, who's taking care of Roseville? The people in these rooms or whatever. So the CERT is even more important now than some of the other projects I've been thinking about. But I would ask everybody, they say go, you better get ready to go. My sister called me crying, she lives in the Glory Hills. She had a warning, not an evacuation, but the fire captain, who's our next door neighbor, said, Penny, a warning means you're not gonna have enough time if they say evacuate. Look what happened with all the traffic.
Right.
So I'm just asking, and this is not to scare us, this is to wake us up. We're talking about the shooting, that's important, we're talking about all that other stuff. But how about if we had to say now, go? How many is ready to go? Okay, that's one. We got 20 people in here. The percentages aren't in our favor unless we get ready. And the way you stay ready is to be ready. And like I said, as I work towards getting to the CERT stuff, you'll see information, because I think this is something that we'll all benefit from as a community. And the last thing I would ask you, be it the CHP, the Sheriff's Department, or the Fire Department, they have one unique advantage of us. They left their families to go protect everybody else. So we gotta give them the utmost respect. Fair enough? Thank you. In the district, like I said, I would love to see half of this many people in our meetings. That's my personal ask, to come to the district meetings. Yes, ma'am.
You know, we have, the senior center here, has like a bingo on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
That would be a big time to, talk to have somebody come out and talk to these people, because they're there.
Yes.
And, to let them know what he just said, that they need to get prepared in case of an emergency, and maybe have some flyer paperwork on what they need to do to actually get prepared.
Where
What I could do,
where would this be
the
at?
CERT part is
Here.
still being ramped
Oh,
up,
here?
but
This is
there's
senior
already
center.
structured stuff in place to get that information to them.
1 o'clock.
That they have out there, but if I don't mind sharing with it, sharing it, but I think
What
we
day?
all have to start thinking about one another's well-being.
Oh, yeah.
I'm able to come and speak and as well bring.
Could you?
Yeah, I can, because that's what we do, is disaster preparedness, so I can bring things that,
There's a lot of senior citizens that, a lot of them are not really mobile,
and that's Tuesdays, Thursdays at 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay,
Oh, here.
nobody here from the school district, right? Antelope Valley Citizens Use of Water, no library. Anyone I missed? Mr. Jones, do you got anything for me? I'm just bringing more of the petitions. Perfect. We do not have a quorum, so we're not able to approve the minutes from July. We've been slacking off a little bit. So we're going to just move to our director comments. You have anything?
I have nothing other than thank you very much for being here and Happy New Year.
So I do have a couple things I was handed by Karen today. Kern County Public Works puts out a monthly newsletter that they would like to have more people see, and it's everything that they're doing currently planned. It's pretty cool. It's like $100 million worth of different projects that they have scheduled. A lot of it is here in Roseland, believe it or not. I have this if anyone wants to see it. I also have cards that tells you where to sign up for it, so you can get that to your email every month yourself. And then I would like to just kind of remind people, can you tell everyone, do you know when the planning committee or planning commission meets?
I don't, but I'd be glad to find out.
So one of the things is everyone likes to call us, me and Joel or Karen, because it's easy and we're here, right? We're your neighbors. It's easier for Mary to call me. We know each other. Her grandson and my son are friends, right? But it's not always the most appropriate. Sometimes it's worth driving to Bakersfield and going to that morning planning commission meeting, because it's like the head of the planning department, Parks and Rec, Public Works. There's like 2 others.
Animal control.
Animal control.
Yeah.
And what's the 5th one? Oh my gosh. We're going, but a lot of it's just sometimes we get stuck waiting to get responses back from Karen or from her, waiting for her to get responses back. But that is always available to you to go directly to the planning commission meeting, and they have a public commenting period. And I've seen a lot of things come out of there too. Just sharing information for you guys. Sheriff station, 1 second, Marshall. I believe that they have approval for the sheriff station down, but it's being held up. So one of the candidates who ran for supervisor this last time, his campaign revolved around an East Kern Government Center, and Supervisor Parlier is kind of pushing forward on that. They want to add a second floor to the proposed 5,400 square foot sheriff station. That would be like administrative offices for code compliance and the like. So that way the required services we need aren't being dispatched in Bakersfield, to be dispatched in East Kern as well. So if we get he's working on that, and he's very confident that that's going to happen. And I believe this year they're supposed to break ground.
Next year, it's supposed to be done and built by the end of next year.
By the end of next year,
yeah.
We are working with the state. Directly with our assemblyman to get a temporary station. We're looking for state funding to open a temporary sheriff station in the meantime. And I think we are having luck on that, right? There's movement on that. Carla's really been pushing it for us. Planning commission hearings.
Every Tuesday.
Is when?
Pretty much every Tuesday.
Thursday.
Or Thursday, I'm sorry.
Thursday nights at 7 is when that is in Bakersfield. And it's in the Board of Supervisors main room. So, other than that,
that's what I was asking. Thursday, you're saying those meetings Thursday nights at 7.
Thursday nights at 7, and they're in that room that we were the main board that we were in last
They
time.
also have the director's hearing. Those are on Thursdays in the mornings.
Are those open to public too?
Yes. And
Thursday mornings as well, same room, is the director's meetings as well.
You know the time, morning?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. And you can find it right on Kern County Planning Commission or Planning and Natural Resources.
We'll look forward and we'll get it put on.
It has the
We'll
hearing
share.
times and everything. And the agendas and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I encourage everybody to go through, now that we have a supervisor who does seem to be pretty attentive to us, I encourage people that are interested in serving to go through the boards, commissions, and committees that are available through the county. There's tons of stuff. Keep Kern clean. There's a you might actually like this one. It's a juvenile justice coordinating board. They're looking for somebody for our district. I mean, there's a lot of different stuff. We personally have 2 vacancies that we need filled on our board. If we fall under a quorum for too long, they'll eliminate our board. You know, that it becomes ineffective. So anyone's interested in that, talk to me or Shanine as well. Joel is currently not on our board, but I'm hoping he will be resat before next meeting. So if that's it, we are adjourned.
There was supposed to be someone here for.
He's running.
Okay, so he's not here yet? Okay, all right. Never mind.
And I've never done this, so I get to.